start in 2 minutes. Grab your seat. Grab your seats. We're going to start. Welcome to PECHA KUCHA night number 14. A very special edition tonight is the photographer is talking. Tonight is a very special PECHA KUCHA night. It is our 14th edition, and it is a disaster relief fundraiser for the efforts going on in the Philippines by Bumi Sehat and EDEP. So a round of applause first of all for the work that they're doing, and for all of you for coming out. A special thanks to those of you in the front row, who we put a special price on the front row, second row, third row seats. So those of you who are generous to donate a little extra, it's much appreciated. We have a stellar lineup, an incredible lineup of speakers tonight. And we're going to start in just a minute. Before we do that, this is number 14, PECHA KUCHA. For those of you who have not been to a PECHA KUCHA night before, it works like this. It comes from a Japanese word meaning chit-chat. And it's a dynamic speaking format where speakers get up on stage and they show 20 slides, and each slide is up for 20 seconds. They do not have control over the slides. The slides change automatically after 20 seconds. It lasts for a total of 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and then we have a time for questions after that. So this is our 14th edition, and tonight it's brought to you by Ubud, by BetelNut, which has been the host for 13 of those 14, by EDEP, by Bumi Sehat, and am I missing anyone else? And I think that's it. If you want to tweet about tonight, you can tweet the hashtag PKN Ubud. We're having a few screen issues. And our Twitter name is @Ubud Bali. So the hashtag is PKN Ubud and the Twitter name is Ubud Bali. We have a very, as PECHA KUCHA night has gone along, it's gotten more and more, I guess you could say, sophisticated, and we now have musical editions at halftime. So we have 3 speakers, and then we have a musical intermission, and so that'll take place in the courtyard. We have a folk singer who's playing for about 15-20 minutes, and then afterwards the Soul Doctors are playing, which is going to be great. They're going to play for about 45 minutes. What's the name of the folk singer? Jess Santiago from the Philippines is playing at intermission. All right. We need to make sure our screen is working here, because one of the things about PECHA KUCHA, it wouldn't be PECHA KUCHA without a screen. We might have to all gather around the computer and look at it, or John can tell us what the slides are. All right. Oh, here's Jess Santiago. There's Jess Santiago, who's going to be playing an intermission, and afterwards the Soul Doctors are going to be playing. Yep. You ready? Okay, so our first speaker tonight is Suki. Suki is a photographer who's originally from Argentina. He's an expert in Latin America, so he's worked in Latin America for 20 years photographing, and he's been in Bali now for about a year. And he's shot for a number of different people in the freelance world, probably most notably National Geographic. And tonight he's going to be talking to us about the art of documentary photography. His full name... All right, Sebastian Suki Belaustegui.
Hello everybody, I'm so happy to be here. First, thank you John, Pete and everybody that put this together. It's a pleasure to be really here, and I bring some paper to see because I speak English, but I learn by myself as well as photography. So tell me when we start. Okay, start again because I need to from the beginning. Okay, now I want to start with this photo as the beginning of my story. I was born in Argentina, and that was when I was 6 years old, and that's my first day at school. Oh. Okay. Maybe we need to fix that before, because kind of like, I think we should fix that. Thank you. Cuckoo. I cannot sing, otherwise I will sing some mariachi song or tango. So besides the art of photography, this is a talk about a life story also that brings me to photography. So whenever this shaking image is finished, we will start.
Please stand by. We're having technical difficulties. We've had 14. Is it possibly the cable? We're taking questions now from the audience. If there's any tech experts out there, it very well could be. We have a crack squad working on this. We've had 14 PECHA KUCHA editions, and this is the first one where everything has ever gone wrong. Jennifer Richardson? Is it Mercury retrograde? Retrograde. Only in Bali. Only in Ubud. Any jokes? Not offhand. Do you have any jokes, Ann Hodgson? All right. Where is a stand-up comedian when you need one? Denton? Marnie? Do you have any jokes? No. What did the fish say when it hit the wall? No. Pardon me? Oh, damn. That's a good one. All right. The question is, if you fiddle with the cable long enough, does it fix it? I think the answer is no. Okay, I have a suggestion. We have an audience. Why don't we get Jess? Where is Jess? Oh wait, she's up. All right, we're on.
Okay. I'm gonna be watching the computer, so tell me.
Thank you, Suki!
Okay. Another computer. Thank you, thank you. Maybe we have another computer that will work. Okay, we have a second Mac on the stage. Faltan las fotos. That's me. Dancing. That's in Burning Man.
Very good. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, $10. That's what Gina
thought that we were starting at 7:30 tonight, the event actually begins at 8, but we're going to start 10 minutes early. So, just to make, because many of you turned up ahead of time, we appreciate it. All right. So as soon as Suki's slideshow gets up, we will begin.
So now I need to watch it here because the screen, right? Okay. Love you guys. Thank you for your patience. This is Mexican and Bali time. Yes. So I want to start with this photo as the beginning of the story, right? I said that before. So remember that part. Tell me when I'm ready. Ready? Go. So I say that. I was born in Argentina, and this was when I was 6 years old, on my first day at school. I hate to go to school. I hate that every day of my life. And in that time of my life, my parents were divorced, and political issues was destroying my country and also my family. Well, here is my 5 brothers. 3 of them were killed when I was 7 years old by the military dictatorship. 30,000 young people were killed in Argentina, a big trauma in my life, but it gave me the power for what was my belief in my life, because my brother gave the life for the right on humanity. In my life, I got so much love from many special people. That helped me to go easy on that hard time, especially my nanny, Anita, a beautiful indigenous woman from the north of Argentina who take care of me all the life. She's like my guru, my Buddha, and a bigger support in my life. After finished school, I traveled to Morocco. When I was 18 years old, I had the pressure to need to choose a profession in the life. On that trip, my brother forced me to buy a camera. The destroyed photo is the only copy I have of my favorite photo of that trip in the Sahara Desert in Morocco. With this one and other ones, I make my first exhibition. Then I traveled to the south of Argentina for the first time. I met the indigenous culture, and it changed my life. Because in my school, they teach me that the people who killed most of the indigenous was a hero because he brought Europeans to make progress in my country. So I found the mission in my life, tell the other side of the history. At 21 years old, inspired by the books of Carlos Castañeda, I began my journey to document the native culture of Latin America. I started in Mexico in '91 without any studying photography. I started my trip for 5 months with only $500 in my pocket. This one is one of my first photos of my project. I started using natural light only in natural spaces. The experience was unique, intimate, and powerful. Each photo became a silent ceremony. I made a special friendship with the Huichol tribe, a community of shamans and healers who are famous of using the peyote. This is in Guatemala, where I spent 3 months documenting the Mayan world. So after 2 years that I have my camera for the first time, I got my first award with this picture. They gave me $5,000, and that helped me to keep my vision on the road. So, for 12 years, I traveled 10 countries, visiting and documenting more than 30 tribes, from Argentina to Mexico. It became more than a photographic journey, it became a spiritual path, where I spend most of the time learning the ancestral way of life. I feel to do this before many of these tribes will disappear. I will never arrive in a community with a sleeping bag or any food, and I was traveling alone. This way makes me integrate on his life. I love to stay with the elders who always have great stories to share, like Chanquin Viejo, who was the last of the Mayan prophets. He worked to preserve tradition, telling great stories. So, one of the messages of this 103-year-old man say, in the beginning of the times, God created the earth and God created the sky. It's a single root that connects trees with stars. So every time someone cuts a tree, a star is falling down. So after 12 years of work, I had the privilege of publishing my first book, Guardian of Time. With this collection, I paid tribute to all who opened their homes and their hearts to me. I was also very blessed to finish this book with a prologue by José Saramago, a Nobel Prize in Literature. When I finished my book, I have no idea what I'm gonna be next, but the magazine sent me on assignment to shoot voodoo in Cuba, and that made me see what was my next life project. I started documenting the heritage of the African culture in the American continent. This project includes carnivals, rituals, dances, and portraits of the daily life. This shot is from Dominican Republic. It's a farmer that performs to me a dance with his machete. I worked this picture for 1 hour with 2 flashes on the sides. So for the first time, I started to use flash after 10 years using only natural light in my work. 3 months ago, I made my last personal assignment shooting the voodoo religion in the heart of Haiti. This is a ritual that every year people go to the waterfall to clean their spirit and be born again. Africa in the Americas is the name of my next book, and so far I have been in 18 countries during the past 9 years. I love to shoot in carnivals because it's where all the fire of the Afro ancestors come out. That's why it's so much color, passion, and carnivals are the balance between the flesh and the spirit. This picture is in Colombia, where it's a great, strong culture in music and dance. The idea of this project is also to show the Afro-descendants in countries where nobody knows that they exist. A very good example is the Afro-Bolivia people. They dress like indigenous, but they are totally Afro-descendants. This old lady is a healer, and she's the last natural midwife still alive with 50 years of experience. In 2005, I proposed a portfolio for National Geographic of my work at the Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, and surprise, they not only published a portfolio of 20 pages, but also it was the cover and was the first cover of a Latino American photographer. Yes, I was so happy. And this is my daughter Shanti Balam Belaustegui, my most beautiful creation of my life and the main reason why I moved to live in Bali. She's in green school where her mother, Sarita Poker, is the art performance teacher. For sure, this is the best time of my life, and I am so happy to share it with you tonight. And documenting again the voices of the ancient tradition, but now in Bali. In the last 7 years, I dedicate myself to give photography workshops around the world, so people can learn to approach to different reality with respect and conscience when they go with a camera into another culture. And of course, to learn photography as well. Thank you so much, and please, 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 please have a great night.
All right, do we have any questions? I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
Where did you learn photography, and when you're shooting, what is the most important thing for you?
Okay, I learned photography making mistakes. In that time, it was very hard to learn photography because there was no digital camera. That today is very easy comparing that time. So I learned working, making mistakes, and the most important thing in photography, for sure, is the light. The light is the soul of photography, and the rest is very important, but that's the main thing. Yeah, I see a hand there.
Hello, Suki. Thank you for sharing your photos with us. I have a friend in Mexico, in Monterrey. He's an English guy who's a photographer like yourself. Many times he considers giving up because of money. What advice would you give to him?
So I'm going to just repeat the question. Sorry.
Yes, please.
So the question was, Adrian has a friend who's a photographer in Mexico, and sorry, in Mexico.
Yes.
And he often thinks about giving up because he can't make a lot of money. What advice would you give to his friend?
I only advise I can do in few words the example of my life in photography. For 10 years, I never do any commercial work in my life. For 10 years, where all my friends were in party and a lot of parties, I was living in the tribe alone with a few money and dedicated to create the body of work that is guardian of time. That so people say, what, you have the money? I said, no, no family money. I only go to school to show my work, but not talking about photography, talking the important thing it is the people, the indigenous tribes in the society and the human values that is still key. So for 10 years, I just go to school and sometimes a collector will buy my work. And what I can tell you, and I say to my students and to anyone, it's so important to believe in your work and keep working, because the only thing that's going to take you to the other level is your work. And that's what happened, thank God, with my work. After 10 years, then someone published my book, and because that, Nat Geo, and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I said, keep working, and only your work take you to the next level.
Okay, we have one more question.
Yes, this t-shirt is from also Trinidad and Tobago, and I make some t-shirt in a moment of my life that I need to raise money to a heart operation of my daughter that many people know, and she's in perfect condition, thank God, and that's why I'm so happy in my life. So, guys, thank you everybody, and I have a present for you. When you finish for the break, I'm gonna put some postcards that I make today for you. Take one, please, because so there's one for each one. I love you, and good luck for the next one.
That is 2 firsts in one night. Our first ever technical problem at PECHA KUCHA night, and our first ever take-home gift for the crowd. It's amazing. Our next speaker, Gina Lazenby, is an author and a speaker. In a previous life, she was an expert. I guess she still is an expert, but she was an author and wrote books on Feng Shui. That was a previous life. Nowadays, she's working on something else, and she's going to talk to you about that. She's truly a global nomad. She spends her time in London, in Yorkshire, in San Francisco, in Vancouver, in Sydney, and occasionally in Bali on her way from one of those places to another one. And for the last 10 years, she's been working on women empowerment and leadership. And tonight, her topic is Magical Leadership, the Mary Poppins Factor. Gina Lazenby.
Am I speaking? Do I need to stand here? Can I stand here? Do I have to speak like that, or? That's very good feng shui. 3, 2, 1. My 20 seconds is probably the same one as yours. Right, started. Good evening, my name's Gina Lazenby, and thank you for making me welcome. Tonight I'm going to talk about a new kind of leadership. The leadership we have in the world right now doesn't seem to work. In fact, it probably is the source of all the problems in the world. So what I want to explore is a better, wiser leadership. See what that looks like. My second slide's up. The Athena Doctrine is a huge new body of research. The book is called How Women Will Rule the Future. And this was a study of 64,000 people in 13 countries in the world. And 2/3 of those people felt that men who think like women will make a better world. Now, what they did was they had, in this research, they looked at the optimum qualities of leadership that people are looking for. 32,000 people said these traits, having patience, being empathetic, collaborative, intuitive, selfless, flexible, reasonable, and plans for the future, are exactly what we need for leaders of the future. The other 32,000 people looked at traits and assigned them a feminine or masculine. And all of these traits, you can see on this slide on the top right-hand side, all of these new leadership traits are all feminine. That's exactly what we're looking for in our new leadership. The ones on the left are the old paradigm. This is something else that's going to support the shift is Dr. Rian Eisler's work, where we're looking at the way society is organized, moving from, on the left, this hierarchy domination culture, moving to partnership, where the power is in the relationships, not at the top of the structure. Women are seen as wiser risk takers. Research of hedge funds over a period of 9 years have shown that those run by women outperform those run by men. Boards of very large companies that have women on them outperformed all male boards by 26%. Do you want to speak to the man in charge or the woman who knows what's happening? It's interesting that our gender is such a joke. But it's clear that when we women are in charge or present at the top when key decision making is made, we do make a positive impact. So I want to look further about why that is, what makes us different. Dr. Daniel Amen has looked at 45,000 brain scans, and he said the brain activity in women is radically different in their brains. In fact, there's radical more activity in 85% of the areas of the brain. He also says that women have dramatically enhanced capacity built into our brains for 5 key aspects. He says women are actually wired for leadership. And these 5 leadership traits that we have in our brains are empathy, collaboration, intuition, self-control, and appropriate worry. Appropriate. Now, at this point, it's probably worth pointing out to the men that 2 things, don't worry, because research into brains shows that brains are very flexible and plastic and can adapt. So if you're not wired with the traits that are needed, you can develop them. And secondly, it's not really about the women taking over the world. It's finding a way that we can collaborate together to make things work. Now, there's some incredible things happening around the world as I travel. As Peter said, I find women have initiated and lead many very interesting projects, and I've been meeting them in women's gatherings and circles that I've created in communities around the world. And I'm really inspired. Many of these women have left the corporate and political space and reinventing themselves. And this is my reinvention story. 1990, very successful, but really using my masculine drive, my masculine qualities for success. Burnout. So in the last 20 years, I've really deeply been connecting with my feminine energy, feminine wisdom, and integrating that so I work in a very different way. Now, there's a lot happening in the enterprise space, but where women are creating change. But out in the political world and in corporations, look at this. In the UK, of the top 100 companies, women CEOs, only 1. So we're less than 10% in politics and government and leadership. So what are we going to do to elevate women and feminine qualities in business, government and culture? I've been looking around for new role models. And I found Mary Poppins. And interestingly, she's unusual because in a movie, very few females are in a role that's not relative or in support of a man. Now, the film came out 50 years ago, and when I watched it recently, I was really inspired. She's kind, she's loving, she's patient, she's sweet, she's super organized, she's magical, and she brings the fun back into work. She enables massive transformation to take place in a family. And what's interesting is a new movie is coming out soon, and Mary Poppins didn't actually come to save the children. She came to save Mr. Banks, the father. He was disconnected from his family, and what Mary Poppins did with her magic was enable him to reconnect with his family, bring the fun back into his life, and reclaim his life. So Mary Poppins gives us a very interesting example of feminine power. Now we really need to step up, reconnect with our feminine wisdom, our feminine leadership, our feminine magic. And this is most powerfully done by connecting in women's circles and communities, because we see so much value in each other that we don't see in ourselves. So guys, how can you support us in bringing feminine traits to the world? By making space for us. As we understand our power more, make space for us, not just as women, but for us to bring our feminine qualities in as well, because that is what's going to change the culture of the world. Now, circles are very underutilized in society, and I highly recommend that men also meet in circles. I recommend that you talk and discuss and work out what this new masculine energy is that's coming onto the planet, because that's going to be easier for us to collaborate. And although it's going to take all of us to collaborate to create the shift that's needed in the world, it's an empowered feminine energy and empowered feminine leadership that's going to bring the magic to the world that will transform the world's family. Now, if anything I've said has inspired you this evening, and any woman wants to join, I'm doing a women's circle with JP in Mino on Saturday. I'd love to see you, and I thank you so much for listening to me this evening.
Thank you, Gina. Gina remarkably only found out she was presenting a few days ago. We had a cancellation, so extra effort. And like I said at the start, she's on her way somewhere else in a week.
A week going back to London.
A week back to
Christmas
London.
in winter.
Questions for Gina? Darren.
Completely agree with you, but considering most of the corporations are controlled by men, what's the most powerful way just to break through all that and enable the empowerment of women?
I'm just going to repeat the question. The question was, considering most corporations are controlled by men, what's the best way for women to break through that?
By women connecting together, understanding we have power, we buy 80% of goods. And when we realize that we have power, we can start to use it. Then that will create a shift. It's not about working against things, it's about working for, making demands of people, asking them to do different things. If we don't work separately, we work together.
Come on.
So on Saturday. On Saturday, I'm hosting a women's circle in Ubud. If you come and see me afterwards, I'll take your details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, same question. All right. Any more questions? Thank you, Gina. Now, our next presenter really needs no introduction. Ibu Robin Lim was the 2011 CNN Hero of the Year. She's a midwife, and she's the founder of Bumi Sehat birthing clinics, which have their home base here in Ubud, but are active throughout Bali, Indonesia, have done work in Haiti, and are currently working in the Philippines. And of course, tonight is a fundraiser for Bumi Sehat, so you could say Robin is the headliner of our speakers, though all our speakers are equal. And we're looking forward, she just actually got off a plane this morning from the Philippines. So with an update from the field, Robin Lim.
Yes, I'll try. Sorry about my voice. They're burning everything there, so the air quality is really bad. Everyone's getting sick. So, Kapuwa ko, mahal ko, my fellow humans, I love you. And this is okay. Okay, Kapuwa ko, mahal ko, my fellow humans, I love you. I think this is a picture that many of us became familiar with about a month ago, actually on the 8th. And it's a pretty frightening picture. You can see the Philippines there in green, and you can see what they were facing. And 14.9 million people were affected. 4.1 million people were displaced. The confirmed dead are 5,632, and the reported missing are 1,759, 26,000 injured, uncounted millions homeless. The confirmed dead, it's really hard because you have to have a death certificate to be confirmed dead, and there's something about being dead that makes you really lazy about reporting. I have to tell you, having worked Aceh and having worked in Haiti and Padang and Jogja, this is on the level of Aceh. Here's Tabuk on December 5th. This is the power of a 300-kilometer wind with gusts up to 350 kilometers per hour. That's Tanawan. That was a place that's not as badly hit. Everywhere we went, and it's not in one area, it's spread out across the central Philippines. We just keep getting news from other islands, other communities. This is an area also not considered badly hit by the typhoon. The thing that the people did not expect was 6-meter ocean surges going on all day. They did not expect the ocean to come up, and basically they had a tsunami without an earthquake. Instead, they got the wind and the rain. This is pretty much what it looks like everywhere in the area. This is Tacloban, Palo, all over Leyte, and other islands, Rojas, Ormoc. We're basically seeing the same thing over and over again. Bumisay Wada Foundation. Wada Foundation is a Jakarta foundation that's been partnering with us for a long time. And this is sort of us arriving in the aftermath of the Yolanda. The bald guy is Wine to Water. He was a 2009 hero. Doc, and then Efren Penaflorida. So the government statistics, if they're correct, say that 14.5% of the total population of Filipinos is pregnant. That means over 2 million pregnant women are affected by this typhoon. And our focus has always been in disasters, maternal and child health. So we're over there doing whatever we can. The mother you just saw lost her 3-year-old in the typhoon. Pregnant women who don't have sufficient food, don't have good water, don't have shelter, they start having high blood pressure, premature and stillborn babies. This is the first baby I encountered when I entered the typhoon zone in the East Visayas Regional Medical Center. The medical center has no water, no running water. How do you clean a hospital with no running water? Well, you don't clean it. This is baby Fernando. His mother has severe PTSD. His father and sister have not returned from the storm. Catherine actually believes it. Thank you, her husband's coming back. This is Seven Angels Clinic. Midwife Joy herself was caught in a storm just about an hour after they had a baby born there. The storm surges started coming. When she said she went upstairs, we thought she had an upper floor. She didn't. This hole, they pushed through the hole. Her husband, her toddler, another midwife and nurse, the brand new mother and the baby, and a big sack of rice went up in that hole and hung on while the roof blew off. 30 of Joy's pregnant mothers did not survive the storm. I think this doesn't need any comment. It was a hard decision to include this picture. That's a school in the background. All the schools are destroyed. Safe places for children are a big issue. That's just across the street from Joy's little clinic. This is one of the things we're doing is we're bringing solar light to this clinic, and I'm going back in a few days, 100 more solar suitcases from one of our 2013 CNN heroes, Dr. Laura, are being delivered to us so that we can go to the different health centers that we have assessed over the last couple of weeks. And Wine to Water is bringing us more water filters. Bumisay had liaisons between those surviving communities and the international aid they need. The people in this village and in the surrounding areas didn't know the Germans could give them free drinking water. But once we showed them where it was, it's easier. The Germans didn't know how to communicate with the communities. Here's distributing relief to communities who have not yet received help from the foreign aid organizations. This is working with students who just rose up and said, yeah, we're going to bring food, we're going to bring water filters, we're going to bring tarps for shelter. No one in Isabel has a roof. This is trauma debriefing with children in Isabel. It's really becoming an issue to make sure to keep the children safe, because without schools, many of them are orphaned, of course, and then making sure that the human traffickers don't go in there and start scooping up children. So everyone's super protective of the kids. These are children all over Leyte, which is probably the hardest hit island, but you know, we just keep finding more communities that haven't had help and that are destroyed. It's a staggering number of people living in the open. There are no tents yet. You know, basically we're trying to distribute tarps. I love this picture. I took this on my hand phone. I feel like this is the spirit of Kapuwa. You know, here's a breastfeeding baby. That toddler is so malnourished. You can see the quality of his hair. But even the superstorm can't stop this child's smile. It's just a beautiful spirit. And you can help our neighbors by donating tonight, by going online. This is baby Fernando. And anyway, we'll do our best to keep feeding those mothers and those children with your help. Thank you. Jen Richardson is leaving tomorrow to go and work with our team now. Let's sing for Jen.
Robert, it's what you do when you're turning 60 and you're from a privileged country, so you're still healthy and young at 60.
She said it's what you do when you're turning 60?
Yeah.
All
You are
right.
not,
That's
you're 32.
right.
Any questions for Robin?
Down here.
Just want to know, are you just coming back from Leyte?
Yes, I just came back from Leyte.
It's all the pictures you showed us are also from there, because they said also from Rojas.
Rojas is bad. It's not as bad as Leyte. It's bad. Ormoc is bad. You saw some pictures from Isabel, which is the other coast of Leyte. We also were in Bohol, where we're assessing all the maternal and child health centers there, because on October 15th they had a huge earthquake. The churches, the community buildings, the public halls, they're all rubble. So, and also Bohol has no electricity. Even Cebu City has electricity only about half the time now. So it's a bad situation.
Is the government working together with you?
The military.
The local government or the Philippine government or whatever?
The military is working really well with us. I got a text message on my phone just the last day I was there from the president's, from President Aquino's press secretary, asking my opinion. So yes, they want to work with us. And Asian Disaster Reduction and Relief Network, one of their main employees is my son Zion's bride-to-be. And Mariam's from Malaysia, and she's working as a peacemaker, making sure that the NGO clusters work very, very closely with the Filipino people. One of the things that happened is people from Luzon and Mindanao immediately came within the first couple of days. They arrived with food, rice. The people in Bohol actually, even though they had that big earthquake on October 15th, they had a good rice harvest. So the first ship of rice delivered to the Leyte areas was from Bohol. It was a gift from the people of Bohol. So it's really beautiful. The spirit of Kapuwa is really amazing.
Odette?
What's happening with all these international big NGOs, the UN and Oxfam?
They're there. I tried to get shelter kits and hygiene kits and school in a box from them, but they told me to go to meetings and go to more meetings and more meetings. So we just went and bought our own buckets and did the eat-up buckets ourselves. You know, people didn't ask us for a new house. They asked us for a machete, for a bolo, so they can use the scraps of their own house and build a new house. So we're buying a lot of machetes, a lot of buckets, which they can use as rain catch. Who's here from eat-up? Yay, eat-up. Eat-up really pioneered the family buckets with the tarps. I think for recovery, the point has been made that when you give someone a tent, they'll live in a tent a long time, but if you give them a tarp and a bucket they can use for rain catch and the tools they need, they'll start to rebuild. And you know, even the places that are not considered hard hit, they don't have roofs, you know, they have fewer dead. There were over 800,000 people evacuated from coastlines, which is an amazing 5-day event. Can you imagine a country that can move over 800,000 people and get them away from harm's way? The problem is those 800,000 people are all homeless and thirsty and hungry now. And some of us here were early responders in Aceh. I can tell you, it's as bad. It's as bad.
What's next, Robin? Are you going back, or how long do you expect Bumi Sehat to be working there?
Well, Bumi Sehat has been working on building a couple of permanent childbirth mangers. Everybody's Catholic there, so there will be mangers in relocation camps. This sort of trumped the relocation camp, although there's one in Laguna, which we're definitely going to be opening in. We've been working on that for about a year slowly. Disasters keep getting in our way, you know, typhoons and earthquakes. and working with Water Foundation, that we've been planning that. So right now we're helping to support the Mercy Midwives. There's 3 Filipino midwives and 2 American midwives out in the field, just exactly as we were in Aceh, and we're supporting them to stay there. And we will be looking for a site to where we're trying to determine where the most need is. For example, there are hospitals. The hospital in Cebu, one of the biggest ones for the poorest people, is rubble. So there's just no services, and the services that are there. That beautiful midwife, Joy, when I got there, she had cleaned her birth room, and there was a hole the size you could stick a van through in the wall. She just had a bit of tarp on the roof. The roof is gone, and the ceiling is leaking. There's water bubbled in the ceiling, and they just cleaned it up, and we're receiving babies there, and in a beautiful way. So she got the first solar suitcase. I'm going back in a few days.
You go back in a few days.
And I'll come back for Christmas. And then it'll be a rolling team thing.
You have inspired a lot of people over the years and continue to inspire people. Who and what inspires you?
My family. I have the best family. I'm sure most of you know them, or know some of them. There's a lot of them. I have an incredible team. There were some people outside. It's really something to be called to a birth emergency at 3 in the morning, and suddenly it's all over and it's all done and everybody's safe, and you look at the people that are all around you, and they're your best friends. I mean, the midwives that I work with here are incredible. The people on the ground in the Philippines are totally devoted. And the people in Aceh, we have 22 people that live on site in Aceh. They're amazing. You know, when I got on the plane to go to Haiti in 2010, the last text I got before I turned off my phone was tell the people of Haiti that it's going to be okay and that we are with them. And it was from my team in Aceh. And I was getting messages in the Philippines from them just saying, yes, do it. Get out there and tell them it's going to be okay. So we're just so blessed. We have this community. We have all of you. You know, I see it as we're the hands in the field. We get out there and we get our hands a little dirty, but you're the heart. Without the people that support us, and we're supported by small donations. We don't have very many big donors. Once in a while we get a big donor, and that's always nice. But we're supported by your hard work. So you're the heart. You're the one that keeps nourishing us and keeps the blood pumping through our veins so that we can do the work we love and the work you love. So thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, before the break, we're actually going to have a mini PECHA KUCHA, one slide. Copernic is an NGO based here in Ubud, and they also are doing some work in the Philippines, and Sarah Wilson from Copernic is going to come up and give us a quick update about what Copernic is up to.
Hi everyone, thank you. Okay, so I'm from Copernic, another yayasan that is based here in Ubud. And the Philippines response that we have been working on is raising over $33,600 through our crowdfunding platform on our website. A lot of that has been supported by people in the Ubud community. We've provided 105 water filters to the affected area to provide safe, clean water for drinking, but also for cooking and bathing. We've provided 672 solar lights that provide sustainable lighting, and also a mobile phone charge, which is very important to communicate with friends and family. In an emergency situation for Copernic, we work small and we try to work as fast as possible. So we work with local distributors of the technologies that we connect people with, and that's why we chose the water filters and the solar lights in the Philippines. We also work with local partners, so we work with our network of people. So in the Philippines, we've worked with AMDA, which is the Association of Medical Doctors in Asia. their Philippines chapter, and we've also worked with the Rotary Club of Bacolod North to distribute the technologies to the people who need them most. We've distributed these products in Negros Island, in Cebu, and in Samar Island. At the moment, we've fully funded our emergency response to the Philippines, but we've just started our holiday campaign for the holiday season. So if you wanted to support Copernic, you could buy a gift certificate through our website. And we also have a tech kiosk in Sayan, and that's a shop that sells the technologies here in Ubud, so you can use them yourself. So you can purchase from them and use them here, and the money generated from those sales also goes to our projects. Okay?
Okay, we're gonna have our break now, and Jess Santiago is gonna be playing outside. There's also a donation box that's on the table outside for Bumi Sehat. So if you feel like contributing more, you're able to do that outside. Coming up after the break, Anom is going to be talking about the Mecca of music in Denpasar. Jose is going to be talking about sexting. And Bex and Rosie are going to be talking about yoga in Palestine. So stick around, enjoy the break.
current official said the reason why get like, you know, like hold it and then look it not down. It can exit. Just like every week you get it, it's really good. Wow, you still going plan? It's good, eh? Oh yeah, like it that. So it's good, huh?
We're starting the second part. All right. PECHA KUCHA Night 14, Part 2. 9 o'clock, it's getting late. While we're waiting for everyone to sit down, I'm going to do a very quick speed auction. A speed auction. We have 2 tickets to Gili Air on the fast boat, which have been donated by a fellow named Tim, who owns the besttripadvice.com. And he's got 2 tickets. We're going to do a live auction here. Who is going to the Gillies? 2 tickets. We're going to start the bidding at 300,000 rupiah. These are a value of $37 each. $37, so that's 37 times 2. Anna? 74, excellent, very good. All right, do I hear 300,000 rupiah? Anyone? 300,000. Things can be arranged. Things can be arranged. 750. All right, 200,000. Do I hear 200,000 rupiah? That's a steal. All right, we have it in the back. 200,000. 250. Do we have 250,000 rupiah? Oh, there we got 250. 300. 300. All right, 300 go. Thank you. These are quickly being driven up. All right, we are raffling off for you latecomers. There's a high roller right there. Dentron. Okay, we've got 300,000 rupiah. Do I hear 350? 2 tickets. 350 upstairs. All right, do I have 400? This is all for a good cause. We have 400,000 in the back. All right, going once. We have 400 right there. Do we have 450? 450, 2 tickets to the Gillies. That's half price. With the U.S. exchange rate, we have 450 right here, 500. Right upstairs, we have 500, we have 550. 2 tickets to the Gillies, 550. Going once, going twice, 3 times sold. All right, that was 550. Okay, we're gonna move ahead with our next presenter. Jose actually came to Bali, believe it or not, because I gave him a Skype tour of Ubud, and he liked it so much he's come. He's been working for the last 5 months here with a team that is building software. He's in the parlance called a serial entrepreneur, and has worked in a wide variety of things, originally from Spain. And today he's going to be talking about sexting, the software industry, and the Philippines. And his presentation is using a format called Prezi. So it's going to be 20 seconds, but it is not a PowerPoint. So this is our first Prezi. It's also another first this evening. All right, Jose.
Hello everyone, thank you very much for coming. Done? Yeah, I'm a software developer. I've been doing software for quite a long time. And I wanted to speak about the state of the software industry to all of you, and the state of the investment in the software industry and how it can relate to the Philippines, which is the topic of today. So how many of you know what this application is, the little ghost? There's one there. Okay, this is an application called Snapchat, and it's basically like a WhatsApp chat, like a normal chat for your phone, but it deletes all the content after you send it. So what is being used right now is mostly by teenagers to sext. Sexting is the act of sending sexually explicit photos or messages on the phone, one to other, and then they use Snapchat because it gets deleted afterwards. It's being used by around more than 450 million teenagers in the world right now. So it's crazy how this app, how it is and how it was made, because it took only 22 months to make. It employed only 20 people, it costed $70 million, mostly in marketing money. And it just rejected an offer from Google because they were fighting Facebook and Google. Whoa! They rejected the offer from Google of $4 billion. So I don't really know how much $4 billion are. This is my face when I read the number. Because I cannot get how they rejected it, and I cannot get how much it actually is. So let's wait for Jackie Chan to go. So yeah, how much is $4 billion? Do we get signal? Signal, 1, 2, 3, va. $4 billion is 48 trillion rupiah. It's 4 times the national budget of the Chinese space program. And it's 8 times the total aid that was pledged, not given, just pledged, for the recent typhoon in the Philippines. So now it's good to compare Snapchat with a company we all understand, like the New York Times, for example. The New York Times is right now valued at $950 million. That means that the Snapchat is 4 times as valuable as the New York Times, supposedly. So let's look at this, at the crazy comparison that we have between the numbers of both companies. The New York Times employs more than 7,000 people. The Snapchat employing 20, and just for 22 months. The New York Times has been going on for more than 160 years. Snapchat has been 22 months. And this is the funny thing, Snapchat has made $0 of revenue last year. And the New York Times made 360 million. So how, like, the big question that comes here is how can that happen? How can a company making $0 be worth 4 billion? Like, this is the face, like what? The thing is, actually the big players in technology know what to do with our data. Google, Facebook, they already know how to make money with it. So they're the ones driving the value up. And it's not the first example. Like we have, for example, Instagram. It happened like 1 year ago. It was bought by $1 billion by Facebook. It's an application for your phone that adds filters to your photos, which is good, but that's it. So they have 12 employees, costed also a bunch of dollars in marketing, and they just did that. So this brings a question. All these things that are being done in the software industry right now, what is the value for us? What are we getting from it? Is the society getting anything from this kind of software investment and development? Vuelta, dos, va, primo. So yeah, the investors are basically very happy with this kind of thing because everyone's looking for the next big thing, and the next big thing is a small app done by 20 people. They cost billions of dollars and they bring back billions of dollars in return. They get like everyone working to get a quick exit in 2 to 5 years, and in my opinion, they have a little impact in society. So the question that comes here is what can we build with the same technology, same kind of software, that actually helps a little bit more. So I was speaking with my friend Dave that I met in the Philippines 2 months ago, and he started working on a platform called Bangon.ph. Bangon.ph is a platform and a database that brings all the data from the different parts of the Philippines that were affected by the typhoon. Right now it's more than 130 locations, and they aggregate all this data. Vuelta, sí. They aggregate all this data so that everyone can see, like citizens, organizations, government. They made an API, which is like a service that lets you access to that data and use it for your own applications. And they've been powering all the mapping efforts done by Google and the government in the Philippines. Toma. Venga. Vamos. Dale, dale, dale. Dale, primo. Any guy that knows about computers around? Looks more like a hardware problem.
José, José, cántate algo, ¿no? Cántate algo. Cántate algo.
Okay, so barefoot.ph is a platform that Dave, my friend, made. And as I said, database, oh, no lo digas, no, vuelta. As I said, it's a database of different, of the different status of the locations being affected by Typhoon Yolanda. For example, in this one, this is a sample one, you could get like, there's no electricity, there's been 8 evacuation centers, how much money was pledged, who's helping in that area. And it's helping coordinate different organizations, and especially in this typhoon, that there was lots of like citizen aid, helping us getting online and checking which areas are needing that help the most. More than 200 organizations contributing. They are the data for like the big mapping projects that Google and Project Noah, which is the technology side of the government, are doing. And they became a source of information just with for everyone interested in helping there directly. This is an example of an application built over their system. A map that says where the evacuation centers, where the relief operations, where can you donate in the Philippines, which areas are right now in disaster status, where the public contributions. So all this, like the good thing about this and the weird thing about this compared to Snapchat is that this was built in one day by 7 people, and the approximate cost of it would be like $1,000. So the conclusion of this would be, in the software industry, if we step away from the Silicon Valley bubble of just looking the huge exit and looking to burn as much money as you can to make the peak as big as you can, we can do stuff that actually helps to change things for the better. Thank you for your attention, and if you know anyone in organizations related to the Philippines, please tell them about barefoot.ph, and I hope you have a great night today.
Jose, I think an extra round of applause for Jose's humor and ability to deal with tech difficulties. All right, any questions? So what's your goal then? If you're in this tech industry building software, how does this fit in with your particular future? Yeah.
Right now we're working on things to bring software to people who don't speak like English mostly. We're working on building an application search engine that brings people who only speak Hindi or people who only speak Russian or only speak Japanese a chance to get the same access to the software that you wouldn't be able to get through the app stores because they are mostly focused on English markets, and that's the thing that we're working right now.
Very smart. Any questions for Jose? Thank you, Jose. All right. Our next presenters, there are 2 of them, are Bex and Rosie. Where are my notes? They both lived in Bali for multiple years, and Rosie is a musician and a filmmaker. Bex is a yoga teacher, They're just back from teaching yoga in the not in the Philippines, in Palestine for three and a half weeks, and they're going to talk about that tonight. So where are they? Here they are. They're almost ready. And do we have the slides ready? Bex and Rosie.
Hello. It's that awkward bit before we start.
First slide. This isn't the first slide. So in 2004, I cycled to Palestine as part of the peace cycle, and I stayed for 2 years working as a journalist. Now I'm a yoga teacher, and I went back with Kathy, Ash, and Rosie, and we taught 35 yoga, acro yoga, and art classes in 3 weeks.
My job was mainly to film, to document the impact of the yoga and the harsh realities of life under occupation. And what was interesting is that I don't think I realized how much I doubted the demand for yoga until I witnessed it for myself, and it was apparent from the very first yoga class. We saw women in full hijab wearing more clothes than you can imagine wearing walking to the shops. And they told us life in Palestine was really hard, and it made it so beautiful to witness their liberation, literally flying in acrobatic yoga poses. And it really moved me to tears. One woman told us that this was the first time that she felt truly free.
This is the Freedom Theatre in Jenin, refugee camp. And one of the staff told us that you did more than just a few yoga sessions. You opened up a whole new world. Life here easily becomes destructive because everything around is so destructive. People don't exercise, they rarely move at all. They don't spend time outside, they don't eat well, they smoke anytime, anywhere, just like Rosie. They live in constant loud noise. Thank you for showing us the very important connection between doing good and feeling good. I taught yoga in a fitness first center on the 5th floor. So this is the 5th floor of a building, and yet the classes that looked out onto the street were done in the dark, just in case anyone from down below looked up and could see the women practicing without hijab. The connection between Islam and yoga was one that was really interesting for me, because a lot of really religious women told me that their yoga practice really strengthened their spirituality. They spoke about the chakras, about energy healing, and they shattered a lot of my own assumptions and stereotypes of a Muslim woman, which I didn't even realize I had.
But the yoga reached the men too, and particularly with the acro yoga, which was really beautiful and bringing people together to express their freedom through movement. But what was really made me smile was witnessing one group of young men who watched an acro yoga and an acro yoga demonstration from the peripheries at a youth center, who turned to me in astonishment and said, "Wow, if that's yoga, we want yoga."
The normalization debate argues that if life under occupation becomes too normal or even manageable, then people will stop fighting for equal rights. On the contrary, yogis told me that their yoga practice gave them more strength and more power and more courage to resist in order to resist the occupation every day.
I never thought of yoga as political, and yet one practitioner in Palestine told me, in her words, that if they knew how political yoga was, they wouldn't let her do it. She told me how her friend was working for political change, teaching young men in the Israeli army, and how another woman had endured her time in solitary confinement through the strength of her yoga practice. We went to the desert here, to the place of a Bedouin friend who had been in prison like so many others for years without ever being told why. And it was at this place that the idea was born for us to bring yoga practitioners to Palestine, to do a tour so that they could understand the difficulty in exploring and talking about internal freedom when people don't have external freedom.
This is a meeting that I had with the joint Palestinian-Austrian NGO, and they did a survey with the local women about what they most needed. What came up top of the list was yoga. So in this meeting, they asked me if I would run a yoga teacher training course here It would also be a great way for more women to have employment opportunities. This is Myrna. Myrna is also a yoga teacher. She was telling me about an argument she had with one of her students' husbands, who said that he couldn't afford to pay for his wife's yoga classes. Myrna replied that for her, yoga was just as, if not more, important than food. That was really humbling for me to hear.
She told us how yoga made her feel free, and she compared that to her relationship with the sea, which is a place that she can't go, even though it's just a 30-minute drive from where she lives. And she told us she would go instead to the top of a nearby hill where on a clear day you could see all the way to the ocean, and if the wind was blowing in the right direction, you could smell the scent of the waves.
So Myrna took us to teach in 6 schools in one day. She's campaigning to have schools yoga put into the local curriculum of the schools, because she believes in its stress-reducing effects for the kids, many of whom come into day-to-day contact with the Israeli military, who've had their houses invaded and family members arrested.
It's too fast. Working with the kids was the first time that I felt truly, truly grateful to be behind the camera instead of in front of it teaching. The kids in the camps particularly, they were terrifying to work with, and yet walking through the camps, I understood the hard life toughens them for survival, and I felt that this yoga was bringing them something tougher than stones to throw, and it was so uplifting. And so now it's not working. Ash was our in-house kids yoga teacher, art teacher / graffiti artist, and she got to work on the 850-kilometer separation wall. She painted the word play to represent aspects of the yoga classes that brought joy and liberation through movement. And yet, after what we'd experienced and learned and witnessed, why is this not working? It's supposed to play, I spent ages making this. Like, this was my prize bit. She painted the word play. Play. That's the time lapse. Oh well, you can watch it another time. What a shame. What you would have witnessed was time-lapse footage of Ash painting over this word play, because she said in her words, how incredibly, let's wait for it, I've got time now, how incredibly and utterly offensive does that sound? And I think this just reflects, what? It's not play. Oh, play it. This reflects our naivety in taking this trip, and how we were really changed by the experience of being there. So she painted over play with the word move. She chose move because she said it represented these sentiments: move the wall, be moved, take action, and move together, all of us. So, shame you didn't get to see that, but you can see this. This is a picture of a prisoner that I interviewed 2 days after he was released from a 23-year sentence. He was imprisoned at age 13, and he talked to me about the suffering that he'd endured, and yet his message to all of us was to join together through nonviolence in a global cultural uprising that harnesses the true power of peaceful unity. And I'll say that I live in Ubud, a place where spirituality and yoga is in abundance, and yet it took for me going to Palestine to understand the true power that yoga has. You know, it's peaceful and yet immense power of union, the union of a community of yoga practitioners who represent the 25%, if that, of the world who live the privileged existence that we have.
So what did we take away from this trip? I think the main thing was that the more we see, the more we have a responsibility to actually move outside this bubble of New Age spirituality and the potential passivity which it risks, and to rise up in solidarity with the Palestinian yogis who are really working for basic freedoms. And really then will we only be able to say we are all one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Questions?
How did you manage to stick through the Israeli security forces?
The question is, how did you manage to sneak through the Israeli security forces?
What happened last time?
Well, I went just a few months ago in June, and I had a much harder time getting in. You get given a visa on a piece of paper, so your passport isn't stamped. And I'd chosen to go in through Jordan because it's easier than getting in from the airport. And I got through, I was pulled aside 3 times to be asked why I was going to Israel. I couldn't say I was going to Palestine. And then on the final time, they gave me my visa on a piece of paper, and then they ripped it up and said, you won't be needing this if you're just going to Israel, because it's more that when you're going to Palestine, you need to show that visa. This time, however, I really tried to brief Rosie to say everything she had to say, but she got a little bit nervous and forgot everything. So I was standing behind her, listening to her, just saying the most ridiculous answers to the questions, but she was let through, and then the
guy that was questioning us gave Bex a little bit of a harder time because he had all record of all her history in front of him, and his final words to her was, "How come your idiot friend doesn't know anything?" I guess I pull off idiot friend really well.
There was no hassle during the time you were there?
No, we didn't have any hassle. It's good.
What was your first inspiration for going? How did you first go there?
In 2004.
How did you end up there the first time?
I studied politics. My background was in development studies, and I felt really passionate about the situation that was there, just in terms of being a global citizen. So I cycled there, planning just to stay for a few months, and as I said, I stayed for 2 years. And I left because I couldn't handle the situation. I left because I didn't eat and I didn't sleep, and I worked way too hard. So now, being a yoga teacher, that's the connection to go back, was really believing in this practice that I do day in and day out as a means just for living under such harsh conditions.
This trip relied on the support of a very generous public. We set up an Indiegogo campaign, and through the generosity of people's donations, as well as the Accra Yoga Association, we were able to cover our bare expenses. That said, we were still extremely out of pocket, all 4 of us, from this trip. We plan a second trip in April, using the new knowledge that we have, that we've gained from this first trip. And again, we'll rely on the support of the public, of people who want to give but maybe aren't prepared to actually take that trip themselves and lend their skills in that way. So please do watch this space and help out if you can.
Thank you, Bex and Rosie.
How much do you?
All right, our final presenter for the night is Anom. Already has some fans here. Anom is a Bali-born musician and sound engineer. He actually speaks French better than he does English. English is his fourth language. He lives in Denpasar, and he's currently working on starting a barefoot community space sound garden. Are you ready for him? Sorry, he's already started it, and he's going to tell us about it. Here he is, Anom.
Selamat malam. I would tell you that this is the first time I'm on stage. Normally I'm there, behind the set and behind the mixer. Thank you very much, and I would like to tell that I love Ibu Robin, I love BetelNut, and I love all people who are doing PECHA KUCHA. And tonight I will present what I'm doing while I'm in Bali. My name is Anom Darsana. I was born in Denpasar in 1972, and I've been living in Switzerland for 13 years, and I'm still back to Switzerland to do festival like Montreux Jazz Festival, Geneva Jazz Festival, and many kind of music. And now I'm in Denpasar. I would like to develop a lot of music and art. And this is my studio recording in Denpasar. I built this studio is in 2005, and I bring all the equipment from Switzerland. And in Bali, I produce a lot of band, local band in Denpasar, like Scare Bomb, Dialog Dini Hari, Ripple Clown, No Stress. They are really famous now in Bali, and especially Navikula. I love that band. It's a rock grunge band. And also after I record a lot of album with them, we have Jess, Rendezvous, have No Stress, Navikula, Dialog Ni Hari, Skerobam, and also Earth Day Festival. It's a really great festival that I made, and the greatest is Ubud Village Jazz Festival. After that, I create the community in Denpasar. It's called Serambi Art Antida. It's really great community for music and art. I think that I'm the one who really developed music and art in Denpasar, because the space is really difficult in Denpasar to create the community. This is my program, but it was 2010, and we have rock, blues, jazz, hip hop, world music, and everything in my head. I just make it in Denpasar. And also we are doing a workshop. So this is Serambi Arantida that I think this is Robin Avikula, and it's worked really well. That time I was really happy, but in the end we have trouble with space. My partner doesn't want to continue, and they want to sell the space, so I have to close it. And it was really sad for us, because we don't have a place anymore. But my spirit doing music still on fire. What you call? I'm sorry, my English is not really good, but I think you understand, yeah. And this is what we create, like the CD, because I continue with when the Serambi Art Antida closed. I continue to make jazz, because jazz is one of my passion music in Bali. And we record a lot of musicians, and like Jazz Rendezvous, we do a road show in Ubud, in Seminyak, in Sanur, and all of them is the community, is the musician. So I just create, and I spend a lot of time. And in the end, I create the Ubud Village Jazz Festival, and I'm a director. And it was really great. I'm really happy at Ubud. For me, it's a great place to make jazz. And I would like to invite you next year in August, 9 and 10 August. Will be a really great festival. And this year we present Peter Beat from Holland, from Japan, from Jakarta, and from especially from Bali. All the musicians really support me to create this festival. It was really great festival. I think one of you has already been there, and then I have my art plan in Denpasar now. I have a small place. It's about 2 hours, and I create my space to do like music, theater, art exhibition, workshop, dance, and also food and drink. And yeah, this is, we call it lebih baik halaman rumah sendiri. It means that I prefer to use my space than with someone else, but in the end, it's solo. So I hope this place will become the space for everyone, for musicians, because it's really hard to find the space for me. I mean that it's so expensive now. And this is what my programs we start in September. So see that we have a lot of event already. We have Uplift, and we invite also Yesi from Moses to contribute their music. And also last week I made the event, charity event is called Bali Action for Aid, because for me it's really important to do that event for the youth, because aid is really in Bali is really terrible. I mean that's a lot of people affected by that virus. And also it's too quick, yeah. And also we have a theater. These are from Moses. I have they really love to perform in my place. And this is one of the Bali Action for Aid. I want to develop. I want to make this event regularly. I mean it's every 2 or 3 months, because for me this one is really important in Bali. And I really promote that all the kids, all the generation use condom and they don't shy to buy condom because the problem now they don't like to buy condom. But now we would like to push them to use it because it's really important. And Bali is for me it's dangerous affected by AIDS. And we did record the event, and I would like to do compilation. My idea is make music, and I put condom inside, and so I will distribute to the young people in the Pasar. This is my theme, and this is not voice band, so that all of them really work really hard to create Soundgarden. So Soundgarden is the new place and new community who really support the young musician and also artists in Denpasar. I think so. I would like to say thanks to my family, my wife, my kid, because doing this kind of thing really spend a lot of time, and my kids sometimes complain me, you never at home, Daddy. I said, yeah, I'm doing a lot of things, and so you have to. I mean that. Okay, question.
Questions? Yes. No, stretching. I have a question.
Yes.
What do you have coming up next? What are you working on now?
This weekend I have theater. I invite theater from Jembrana, Bali Barat, west of Bali, and the time is reklamasi. I think everyone know what is reklamasi. I use this t-shirt. So we refuse reklamasi because our government want to make a Disneyland in the Teluk Benua, and we are all the musicians, all people in the Pasar. They don't want the destruction of the Teluk Benua. So they gonna build like a 800R for I don't know, maybe McDonald's, everything. So we don't need that. We really don't need. That's why I would like you to support this, because in the Pasar, that's the terrible problem for us now, because the space, and they want to close the sea in Teluk Benua and build a lot of things. That the investor from Jakarta, I don't know where are they, but I don't really like them. I mean that we want Bali safe from there. So that's why we make a lot of fun in the Pasar. Any question? You guys?
In Australia, it just took one person in the 80s to really make AIDS an important thing. He was a doctor, and I think it's amazing that you're making this important. Why is AIDS important to you personally?
So I'm just going to repeat the question. The question was, in Australia in the 1980s, there was one man, a doctor, who made AIDS a big deal.
Yeah.
And he's wondering how he thinks it's really cool that you're working on anti-AIDS campaign. And why is it important to you personally?
Why?
Why is it important to you personally?
Yeah, well, as I said, in Bali now it's about 6,000 people affected by the virus. So for me, I'm concerned to try to stop that. I mean that the people must to be protected themselves. So that's why I want to make this event. I want to make it more and more. I want to doing workshop, like going to school and just explain them, because not a lot of people know what is HIV, what AIDS. They don't really know. So that's why in Denpasar we need to do this. I mean that we really want to help. I mean that for me it's really important, and also the musician really support me to create this event. Normally they do once a year in Ubud. We have Ayo Bicara. Wow, what's that? And I would like to do it more oftenly, because once year is not enough. During a year, I don't know how many people already died, because I have a friend also is gone because of this. That's, for me, it's really important to do that.
Okay, thank you, Anom. Anom Antida.
Thank you. Selamat malam.
All right, so we're now going to go outside and enjoy the Soul Doctors. Wait, Robin Lim has a comment. Hold on. We always have time for Robin.
I wanted to add that here in Ubud and Anom, you can let people know Bumi Sehat has free confidential HIV testing. We have a full-time HIV counselor. Usually every Thursday afternoon we have a get-together where someone who is HIV positive and living with HIV can share their experiences here in Bali. Last year we had confirmed 2 mothers who gave birth at Bumi Sehat later died of AIDS. This year already 3 babies that we delivered have died of AIDS. So if we can get early diagnosis, people don't have to die. Free condoms at Bumi Sehat. Also, yes, free condoms, come and get them. Send your friends, so they don't have to buy them. They can just come and put them in their pocket. We're happy to give them. Also, for those of you that really feel that you wish you had a recording of Ibu Carey's voice, recorded at Antita's Studios was Soul Doctor's CD, which is for sale outside for Bumi Sehat. If you want to hear Carey's voice, she's got some beautiful recording on there. Thanks to Anom's.
I love you, Ibu Robin.
I love you.
All right, the Soul Doctors are outside. Stick around.
I would like to tell you that we have Ayu Bicara in Ubud in 14 December in Ubud courtyard. So you have to come. Thank you.
Yes, I know. See, I'm going to take over the rest of it. No sweat last year.
Poetry classes. Not poetry, painting. Sorry. How are you? Wonderful. Yeah, we try still to happy to carry this, enlighten them, take care of them.